Hey, everybody, this is Amazing Fantasy Football. I am Josh, and over there is the Dave Grohl to my Kurt Cobain. I was not prepared with anything there, so
It showed. Kind of like my Minnesota Vikings notes from last show.
and you are?
I'm Chris. How are you
And
doing
Christy
tonight,
always
Josh?
is.
How are you doing tonight? I'm doing
I
wonderful.
am doing fine. I'm wearing the exact same clothes as I was last week because I only own one shirt.
Me too.
Um,
One hoodie.
yes. Anyways, I'm doing all right. We're here to talk about some quarterback openings in the NFL rosters. I only we're gonna do this quick because I only have like 5 teams because it's really only like 5 teams. As of recording this, we are recording this the week before the Super Bowl. So maybe some things will change between now and then, but probably not considering that the NFL season is technically not over yet. Um, I did this by teams that have the most glaring needs. So I'm going to start here with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And Chris, you can argue with me at the end of this, but let's just stick to my list for right now. And this is it's weird because the NFL Network, NFL.com came out with a list that was very similar, a little bit different order, but it's almost like I pulled my information from that article, which I did not because I wrote all this before that article came out. So in your face, NFL.com.
In your
Um,
face.
Anyways, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Chris, ding dong, Tom Brady is finally gone after switching teams and winning a Super Bowl in Tampa Bay, but then failed to do so back to back. He decided that he was a big loser, but he does cement his place in NFL history as the GPOS, or the giganticest piece of shit.
Yep.
For reals though, Tom Brady has retired, and that leaves one glaring hole in the Bucks roster. And by one glaring, there's actually several. But listen, but just let me finish here. The Bucks. Here's why I have it as the best spot for a free agent quarterback or rookie quarterback to land is because the Bucks have the PFF's second best offensive line in this past season, and so yeah, I mean that's. I think a lot of teams and free agents kind of downplay or forget about how good an offensive line can really help your play. And that's kind of why and also
Preaching to the choir. Yep.
the Bucks have Mike Evans still under contract too. And I think Scotty Miller as well. And they have at least one, I think it's Cameron Brate still under contract as well. So they have some pieces. Cameron Brate's not the bee's knees, but he's also no slouch either for the tight end position. The problem, the many problems with the Bucks though this offseason is, do they re-sign Chris Godwin coming off of a mid to late season ACL injury? Does Gronk stick around for another year sans Thomas Brady? He's talked about he might, but he also hasn't committed one way or the other. Are the Bucks going to be able to keep Lenny Fournette on a smaller contract? All of those unknowns are kind of make it a interesting destination, but still, in my opinion, the best destination for a new quarterback to come walking into. There's also the one thing that everyone forgets about Florida is that they have no state income tax. It's all based on property and land and sales tax. So yeah, that's why one of the reasons why LeBron went there in the big decision of whatever year that
How
was.
many states are there? Texas is one of the others. I think there's 3 or 4, maybe 5 or 6. Anyway,
Is Nevada one of them? I don't remember.
maybe. Well, they got the
I
whole
don't know.
gambling. Well, most folks have gambling now. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. Anyways, so
Quarterbacks. My bad.
and we'll just listen to the list here. We'll get to some quarterback speculation and talk at the end. I figured we'd go through some teams.
I'm trying to keep notes. Trying to hold it in. I'm good.
No. It's fine if you want to interrupt. It's fine. But I just figured we'd go through the list of teams that need a new quarterback, and then we can talk about some speculation. The Broncos is arguably on my list is going to be arguably the second best destination for a quarterback. There's been some reports that the Broncos front office wants to see some more aggressive downfield attack. So that means some less conservative, dink dunk which was kind of Teddy Bridgewater and even Drew Lock for whatever reason, who has a big arm, didn't really want to throw the ball downfield that much. Here's the thing about the Broncos, though, is that they had PFF's 19th ranked best offensive line. So not great, but still, pretty good. They got a young center with a high floor and a high ceiling, and the rest of the line played okay, too. But here's the thing, though. They have Jerry Jeudy, who's still on his rookie deal, Cortland Sutton with a fresh new contract that he got like mid-season in 2021. Tim Patrick, anyone? KJ Hamler is going to come back from injury as well at some point. Noah Fant still on his rookie deal, and at least Javonte Williams coming back in the backfield there. So they got everything more or less other than the quarterback there in Denver.
Kind of like the last time around.
Exactly. And honestly, from what Teddy B did in Carolina to what he did in Denver is two completely different things. And it's just weird, man. It's weird. And I think that was a product of the Denver's offensive coordinator / head coach than anything else. Or maybe it's more of a credit to Matt Rule in Carolina. I don't know which. Hard to say. So hopefully Denver's new GM and head coach don't really ignore the trenches in their draft / free agency. And I mean, you do that and that makes a primo destination for a quarterback. But and as you mentioned last week, it's Josh the Welcher McDaniels as their new head coach. So fuck him. Yeah, and if you don't remember from last week or remember what happened with Josh McDaniels, he was supposed to be the Colts' new head coach after they fired Chuck Pagano, and then he changed his mind.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways,
that's how you got good old
Frank Reich. I like Frank Reich, but anyways, let's move along to Pittsburgh Steelers. Number 3 on my list is kind of more of the 2B, but anyways. The clock
I'd
has
rather
finally
have
reached.
Real quick interruption. I'd rather have
Yeah,
the
go
Andy
for it, man.
Reid, just before we leave the Colts and your hate about the McDaniels thing. I'd rather have the Andy Reid tree than the Belichick tree. Obviously, Belichick has Super Bowls. I get it, but his coaching tree hasn't worked out all that great in the past.
And hasn't Charlie Weiss anyone?
I'd rather take Reid's tree. And hey, go ahead. Sorry, my bad. That's all I'm saying.
No, that's fine, man. I'm good with it. Pittsburgh Steelers, the clock has finally reached 0 hour, and the time has come for Big Ben to finally call it quits. See what I did there? See it? 0 hour time.
The clock.
Big Ben.
Clock.
He's a clock.
Thank you.
His era with the Steelers was a great one at one point, but Father Time finally caught up to him. Pittsburgh is also the exact opposite of the Bucs in a sense that they have a great rookie running back. That's Najee Harris. They'll definitely eat some crow on that one. Juju is probably going to be gone this year, but maybe not. Drops McCan't Catch is still alongside the Maple Tree, aka Chase Claypool, and Drops McCan't Catch is Deontay Johnson, of course. And a young tight end I didn't write his name down. What's their tight end there?
Freiermuth. Moose.
Yes, Pat Freiermuth. Yes, definitely flashed in his rookie season this past year too. So I mean, they got pass catching options. The problem is their offensive line. PFF's 26th ranked offensive line this year. That is not good. Not good at all. Here's the thing though, and it's probably actually worse than their numbers came up with because old Ben averaged 2.2 seconds per pass. That is insanely fast. Insanely fast. Like
that's also fast. It's very fast for Big Ben. Big Ben's calling card used to be.
Yeah, they were just doing
physically
like it is like snap the ball, throw the ball.
Hold on to it. He would just hold on to it, dude, and just be like, they'll get open eventually. I'm 6.5 feet tall,
but I mean,
almost 300 pounds. They're not going to pull me down, and they'll just.
But the thing is that their offensive line was so bad that they were just snap and throw, snap and throw, snap and throw. You know, like.
Well, they tailored it because of his arm and his lack of.
I think they tailored it because their offensive line was really bad. I don't think it had anything to do
I don't
with his
think
arm
he could keep taking hits like he used to either.
Well, but I mean, there was times last year when he did have time to throw that he was throwing down the field okay looking. Maybe didn't have
I think his Big Ben body took a lot of damage in the
for sure
past decade and a half or what have you. Yeah,
anyway. And so here's a point that's not quarterback related, but related to their offensive line and Najee Harris is that their offensive line was allowing 0.9 yards per contact on rushing plays. And yet Najee Harris still looked good. Yeah, like Chris, I gotta say, I might have been a little wrong on Najee Harris. He was good enough to overcome a bad
He can
offensive
make
line.
something out of nothing type of
Yeah,
approach. Yeah, I'd
yeah,
have
for
to agree.
sure.
Yeah.
So that's why the Steelers are number 3 on my list because of their bad offensive line play.
I
Bad
think they
offensive
can
line play.
address offensive line in this draft. I think a lot of teams can
And they
address
tried
offensive
to
line in this
last year
draft.
too, and you thought like pre-2021
That's
season
fair.
that they
That
did
was me.
enough,
Yep.
and I'm not trying to call you out here, but like
I
you at
forget
least saw
which
something
college
that
it
they
was.
tried to
Yeah.
do something that didn't
Yep.
work out.
Yep.
You
That's
know,
fair. For sure.
I'm not trying to. I mean, like, oh, look at Chris
No,
being
you're
wrong. It
good.
was
You're
more
good.
like
No,
it was more
I
like they
can't remember the
did
name.
try to
There
do
was a
something.
second or third round pick out of a reasonably big college that was supposed to be decent. And anyway.
Anyways, let's move along to the Washington football team, or the Commanders, as they're called
The
now.
Commanders.
The football team, and Chris, I'm really having a hard time letting that one go, but okay. They're 90% sure looking for a new quarterback this offseason, and I say 90% because they could stick with Tatum Hindquarters or whatever his real name is. He did show some flashes that last year. They could also re-sign the soon to be 40-year-old journeyman Fitzmagic, but I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't think it's too likely about that happening. But we'll get into speculation here in a little bit. I think Washington is looking for that long-term solution at their quarterback position. More on that here in a minute. I mean, the football team. I mean, the Commanders. On the number 6 spot on PFF's offensive line ranking, which I keep mentioning that because I think that's a real key thing when it
They
comes
got
to signing a
Sheriff from
quarterback.
Iowa, and that's on the
Brandon
inside.
Sheriff.
Yeah, he's on the inside guard.
He's the right guard.
Yeah.
He was their left tackle at one point, and now he's right. I don't know. I don't get it. Anyways, but here's the thing: they have weapons. Terry McLaurin's still there. They have Antonio Gibson at running back, who probably can catch the ball. They just never utilize him that way. Logan Thomas, I believe, is still under contract at tight end. Diami Brown, who was a rookie this past year, and Curtis Samuel, who never really played all that much, but I still like him there if they get they get a decent quarterback. The reason I have the Commanders, I think I got that one right, as the last team on my list is, I guess it's Ron Rivera. Like, I know he's had success with the Carolina Panthers and Cam Newton and everything. I'm just, for whatever reason, whatever it is with Ron Rivera, I don't know if he's got what it takes to kind of elevate a team. I don't know, man. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. I know he's been good. He was good in Carolina.
Past the championship game to the Super Bowl, you mean?
Yeah, he got the Panthers to the Super Bowl.
To the Super Bowl. He literally got him to the Super Bowl.
Like twice? Once.
He got him to the Super Bowl once, and maybe that's it. Maybe they didn't make a championship game outside of course, the one that they made to go to the Super Bowl.
I don't know. Anyways, I don't know. There's something about it. Speaking of the Panthers, I lied to you about the Commanders being the last team on the list. The Carolina Panthers, they're the last team that's probably looking for a new quarterback. Sam Darnold didn't really work out. I mean, it cost what was it, Joe Brady his job?
Neither did Cam 2.0. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So they're looking for the problem with the Panthers is they have weapons. They at least have DJ Moore under contract. They have Christian McCaffrey there still. He's probably not the every down back that they really want him to be, but TBD on that one. Their offensive line was the second worst in all of football last year. It was atrocious. And that's probably if you remember, Sam Darnold looked okay for the first 3 games outside of his, constantly turning the ball over, but probably a lot of that was probably due to the offensive line not really giving him any time. I don't know. They still have Sam Darnold, and they'll probably keep Sam Darnold because he's still under contract with them. And they spent a second round pick to get him, but they're definitely going to be looking for something. They're going to be in the hunt for a quarterback of some sort. Now, is it someone? It's probably going to be someone to compete with Sam Darnold too, because I'm blanking on his name. The XFL
the other one they
guy,
had in Carolina.
The XFL guy.
Oh, he played decent at the end.
He was okay. Anyway, whatever his name is, I'm not even going to look it up. That's how little I care.
Better than Cam. Oh, God bless.
Yeah, Cam was bad. Cam's done. He's
Go
cooked.
ahead.
Okay, so that's my 5 teams that I think are going to be looking for a new quarterback. 49ers are
Philip
either
Walker.
either sticking with
Yeah,
they're either
Philip
sticking
Walker.
with Jimmy G or PJ Walker. Yeah.
PJ Walker. Apparently, his first name is
Yeah.
Philip. Continue.
Oh, okay. 49ers are probably sticking with Jimmy G or Trey Lance or going with Trey Lance. You could say maybe Houston, but I think Davis Mills did enough to keep a job there. They're going to either two things are going to happen in Houston. They're either keeping Deshaun Watson and they're trading Davis Mills, or they're trading Deshaun Watson and keeping Davis Mills. I don't think they're in the hunt for a new quarterback. I think Davis Mills was just good enough to keep a job for another year. He wasn't great, but he was just good enough. I mean, you were telling me in text earlier today, well, which was actually a week ago, as the people listening to this.
Right.
But you were saying, like, in the Senior Bowl, they're talking about how there isn't any NFL starters in this year's NFL draft,
Let's
which
say, yeah, and that's
TBD on that one. And there's probably going to be a quarterback or two that go in the first round because quarterbacks always go way higher than they ever should.
So what do you?
I mean, yeah, the quarterback position is extremely important in football, but man, some of these quarterbacks that go super high are just a head scratchers. Looking at you, Mr. Trubisky, Daniel Jones, Brady Quinn, Johnny Manziel.
Brady Quinn of all games to throw out. Let's be okay. Fine. It's a good one. Fine. I mean, just to like.
Do you have any other honorable mentions of real crap quarterbacks that have got?
I don't know. Carson Palmer. You know.
Whoa.
Yeah, I mean, why are you naming? I guess what I'm saying is I was half listening.
I'm sorry. Did you just say Carson Palmer?
I don't know. He's a good example, right?
I'll drive over to your house and fight you right now.
Okay, maybe wasn't listening to you. I don't know why you were naming awful first round quarterbacks. Because
the quarterbacks get drafted way earlier than they should. Carson Palmer was a good NFL quarterback.
Okay, Joe Burrow. I mean, come on, they get drafted.
Whoa, Joey Bagels.
Exactly. Okay, what I'm saying is you're dead wrong. Quarterbacks get drafted where they should because it's the most important position in the NFL, and you have to pay up. Period. Mitch Trubisky, sure, throw out your Mitch Trubisky's and your Jake and your Blake Bortles. I mean, yeah, they all miss, dude. Tim Couch. How about a Tim Couch? I'll keep going, man.
Ryan Leaf.
You want to go into the second round? I mean, yeah, it's just
Andrew Luck.
It is what it is, man. You have to pay up to draft a quarterback.
What was it? What was that dude?
Which one of these teams do you think is going to draft a quarterback and start him? I don't think any of them are. I think all. Yeah.
Anyway,
go ahead.
So
let me know when I can go
back around. We're just naming terrible quarterbacks at this point.
I just want to know when I can talk about these quarterback speculations.
So here's my thing. We're done with the teams. And now I'm going to give you a list of the free agent quarterback class. It is Jameis Winston, number 1. Ryan Fitzpatrick, number 2. Trevor Siemian, number 3.
These are not the names that we're speculating about. Please.
Jacoby Brissett?
No. I'm talking about quarterbacks with jobs.
I'm proving a point here, Chris. I'm proving a point. The quarterback free agency class is bad.
So is the draft class. What's your point? We're all just going to suck next year?
I'm going to go a little controversial on this one, Chris. And I mentioned it to you. You didn't say anything. You kind of ghosted me after I said it. What if this is the year to draft a quarterback earlier than you normally would?
In fantasy?
Yeah. And you're an early you're compared to me, you're an early quarterback drafter.
I think the fact that you just said there's nothing good in the NFL draft and speculatively, and there's nothing good in free agency would be contrary to your point you're trying to make. I don't get it. I mean, if nobody's
So I just listed 5 teams that need a new quarterback. There's maybe one quarterback out there in free agency that is going to go to the.
It's not going to become the new tight end, dude. It's just not. They're going to be throwing for 4,000 yards and 40 touchdowns, just like they do every single year.
But you're going to have a hard time. You're going to have a harder time streaming the quarterback position because there's going to be garbage at the bottom, and then there's going to be a middle tier, and then there's going to be a good tier.
I will agree with you. I will agree with you to an extent in terms of I think trend-wise, it's been trending that way for a year and a half, at least for me, where I'm like, certain times it's paid off to pay up for a quarterback. But also I could name Ryan Tannehill from this year. I don't know, man.
Okay, so here's
I think talking about teams that have a quarterback vacancy and free agency quarterbacks are outside of the names that need to be mentioned in terms of Aaron Rodgers, Kirk Cousins, Russell Wilson, Deshaun Watson. I think
Jimmy
those names are on the
Garoppolo.
move. I think there's too many the similarities between a lot of teams that I named and you named in terms of last week's show,
Hmm.
coaching changes. I think there's a lot of teams in a win now mode with a new coach that has zero desire to draft a kid
Okay,
and start
so
him
so
in year one or
rank
year two.
so of the names that you left Jimmy Garoppolo out too, by the way.
Sorry,
Um,
Garoppolo. Yep. Who is
out of
literally a
out
free
of
agent, right?
those rank those five names in order
They're
of the
not as high.
likeliest to be on the move.
Is Garoppolo still on contract technically?
Technically,
Right?
yes. That's how this
Okay.
that's actually how this came around because I thought Jimmy Garoppolo was going to be a
I'm
free
just not
agent.
buying I'm not buying any list with Winston at the top. Let me be clear. To answer
He's the
your
best free he's the
question,
best free agent quarterback.
I think Aaron Rodgers is gone, no doubt in my mind. I think Denver
Wow, I say he's at
is
the
a
bottom
great
of my
spot for
list.
him. I think I'm sorry, who's the Vikings coach now? Is it O'Connell from the Rams?
Hmm.
I feel like coming from that coaching tree, maybe he would err on the side of a veteran, so he would keep Cousins. And hey,
Hmm.
to your point, Cousins has performed pretty admirably. I mean, can't win a playoff game to save his life, but hey, whatever. Um, outside of that, I don't know about Wilson. I think Wilson stays, and I think Pete Carroll stays. And Watson is such a
Hmm.
wild card. I hate to throw that name out there, but I clearly think he's not playing for the Texans. I
I
don't
think
think you.
he is number one
I
on my
don't think
list
you
as
do
most
what you
likely to
did to
move.
him last year and continue to play for that team. So, to your point, I guess as you were starting to interject there, Watson maybe should be at the top, and then I'm Aaron Rodgers. Maybe that's 1A and 1B.
Oh.
Okay, Rodgers and Wilson and Mr.
I think it's Watson, Jimmy
Watson.
Garoppolo, um, then I guess Aaron Rodgers, and then Russell Wilson, and then
So what you're claiming is this whole carousel is not really going to happen.
I don't think so.
I think you're dead wrong.
Oh, okay,
I think
that's
multiple of
fine.
those names are on the move. I think
I don't
obviously
think Aaron
Watson.
Rodgers is leaving.
I think he
I
is.
think
I think he is.
I think they're gonna promise him the moon and to keep him there one more year, and then he's
I
gonna
think he
retire.
made a under the table promise to Denver last year.
Now, here's my
I'm
dark horse
speculating.
scenario. Dark horse
I'm
scenario.
speculating, y'all. Don't get me wrong, but that's what this show's about, kind of. I mean, come
Yep.
on, this quarterback carousel is going to happen, in my opinion. So there you go. That's
Here's
all I
my
had to
dark
say.
horse opinion. Aaron Rodgers gets traded to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers because they are definitely still in win now mode.
He's one of those coaches that I think.
Devontae Adams comes along with them. And yeah. Here's one more thing that I want to say is that it's actually if you really think about it in the Seahawks perspective in a very business sense, it makes so much your team is so full of holes, especially on the defensive
A
side,
quarterback won't make a difference. Yeah.
and that you can get so much return for Russell Wilson that you might as well
I'm
trade him.
sorry. Seattle or Houston? I thought you said
I
Houston.
said Seattle.
Oh, my bad.
It makes actually I said Seahawks, but still, it makes so
Well,
much
you got two
sense.
damn good receivers, but the defense is horrible and the running game is bad. Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, the running game has showed promise, but Rashad Penny is a free agent, so
I
he
think the
could go
cupboard
wherever
is
he
more
wants.
bare in Houston.
I think their defense showed something last year, and I think that everyone's kind of downplaying what their defense actually did. Their defense kept them in games, and Davis Mills did okay. He wasn't great, but he also didn't have a lot of weapons outside of Brandon Cooks. There wasn't a lot going for that offense other than Brandon Cooks. So,
Mm,
that's my
yeah.
opinion.
All right.
Um, so I don't know. I mean, like I could see, and I think we another quarterback that I have a maybe to be on the move is a complete speculation. Daniel Jones. I think you were kind of saying that a little bit with last week with Brian Dable coming in to be their head coach. Like I believe you said that he was gonna keep Daniel Jones, and I kind of agreed with you. But I think there's a
I
chance
mean,
that
is that like a Sam Darnold type of thing? Like, hey, we're done with him. He's got a year? He's got surely has a year left.
I
Has
think
to have
so.
at least one. If probably one, maybe two. Yeah. I don't know. It's so hard to get rid of a rookie quarterback on his rookie contract because they're so inexpensive. I mean, even if
Well,
you're talking
if they, but
backup,
if they
even if you're
offered,
talking backup money, why? Unless somebody's going to pony up and give like a second, as you
oh,
put it, what the Panthers did for
and you know
Donovan,
what? We're I think both of us are
or
leaving out.
Wentz is a good one too.
I think Wentz is staying because
I do too. I do too.
The
But I just
Colts
mean he
owe
was.
him way too much money to get rid of him.
Yeah, I'm just saying he was eventually given a first round pick for a late first, I suppose, but still a first. So
It was
late
actually a
first,
mid.
second.
It was actually a mid because they didn't make the
I'd probably take
playoffs.
that if I'm the Giants, to be fair. But I don't know. It's just so hard to move on from a rookie quarterback on his rookie contract, unless you're on the 5th-year option. And
I didn't put
okay,
Wentz on my list of quarterbacks on the move because
I think that's what
they can't
Darnold
cut him.
was. I think they didn't sign Darnold's
Carson
5th
Wentz
year.
has a $15 million dead cap hit. That's not nothing. That's a lot of money.
Almost every single one of those big names I mentioned have a year, in Russell Wilson's case, 2 years of a lot of money. Like you basically
Aaron Rodgers, his cap.
well,
hit
what
is
you
like
do though is
36
you make it
million or
work.
something.
If you're trading, you make it work. You say, okay, we're literally rewriting his contract before we trade him. Here's a big sum of a huge contract. We know you're going to rework it because you agreed. Aaron Rodgers said Denver's going to rework the contract. Blah blah blah. We take a hit for 1 year, but it's not for 2 or 3 years, and it's not 50 million. Like they do that stuff all the time. But again, your opinion, my opinion. I think there's a lot of moves to be made with those Russell Wilsons and Aaron Rodgers.
I think it's Deshaun Watson's in there too.
I don't blame you for putting one. I kind of glossed over it. Again, I think 1A, 1B. I think Rodgers is as good as gone too. For clearly
I don't think so,
reasons.
but I really don't think so. But that's me.
I don't think he thinks he can win there, and I think vice versa. I think when you look at Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers, and to have arguably the best quarterback in the game, if not a top 5 quarterback every single season, and to only have 2 Super Bowls over 20 years, 25 years, they're also ran a little bit different than other franchises.
Yeah,
hey,
a little bit.
Hey, Mr. Dallas fan here, we can't win to save our lives. Don't get me wrong. That's a big owner. One guy owns, well, not literally, I mean, stocks, whatever, but a town doesn't own the Cowboys. A town owns Green Bay, like 51%. It's ran differently is all I'm saying. But hey, I can't argue with the success they've had. It's just, man, 2 Super Bowls? I think he's ready to go.
Aaron Rodgers?
Yep.
I think he is, but I don't know. I think it's just all smoke and mirrors, and it's going to be just beat to death, and he'll end up staying in Green Bay like Russell Wilson in Seattle.
I feel like a lot of those situations happen kind of anticlimactic like that. I don't blame you for taking that side by any means. I wanted to take the more exciting.
I've just seen the NFL hype machine go so hard for so long in off seasons that I'm just like, I'm so done with it, and I'm like, okay, I'm not going to listen to any of this BS until it actually.
But
happens.
we're in agreement on Watson. He can't come back.
He's came out and said that he doesn't, and I don't think the city of Houston wants him back.
Well, so
either.
did Rodgers, and you don't believe him because he.
But the city of Green Bay wants him back. The city of Houston does not want Deshaun Watson back.
Would you want Rodgers back?
Yeah. I think you just personally don't like Aaron Rodgers because of his whole Joe Rogan-esque take on COVID, I guess.
Yeah.
But he's not the only athlete to do it. So are you going to also hate what's his face Djokovic, Novak Djokovic, or Antonio Brown, or
I feel like you're giving me softballs, Josh.
or Amari Cooper, or
there you go. Now there's the one. Yeah. Oh, I think
I'm pulling these names out of a hat.
Speaking of should be gone. Anyway, this isn't a wide receiver show or a show.
I mean, like, so
or a COVID
so
show.
let's do some real hard speculation here. What if Aaron Rodgers goes to Denver?
I mean, Sutton's under contract. I think Sutton is your Devontae Adams.
I mean, the rumor mill is that if Denver is gonna make a hard play for Aaron Rodgers, they're gonna give up Cortland Sutton or Jerry Jeudy. That's the speculation.
Jeudy is sought after in the kind of personnel side of things. Like, people do believe in his talent in the NFL circles, like route runner, etc.
Yeah, and Judy's the one that they're going to have to give up because Green Bay, as of right now, thanks to Charch and his podcast, Fantasy Football Weekly, they were saying that Green Bay is currently $50 million over cap. which they'll wave their magic wand and make it work,
Well,
and they
and
won't keep
money
Aaron
always has
Rodgers.
something to do with it. Like, with the Rodgers and what they can work out with the trade and how much cash they get back and how much cap relief they get to basically suck it up for a year. They know they're probably not going to win with Love. Forgive me, I don't remember his first name.
Jordan Love.
Jordan Love. And I don't think Adams goes. Well, how do you stay if you lose Rodgers?
I think he's a free agent.
I don't think he goes
So-
to the same team. So that's really probably,
I don't
even
think so
in terms
either.
of money, the more important name to mention. Technically, Rodgers is under contract, contrary to my point that I think he does move. I guess your dark horse isn't that off the wall, but so I guess your question was, what does it do for Denver? I mean, instantly Javonte Williams and whoever is remaining on the outside in terms of receivers, and of course Fant at tight end, and on the inside is, I mean, you have to start talking about Fant as a top 12, as much as we hate to do it, even though we're Hawkeye fans. It was like so frustrating last year to barely.
He was a
barely
top
make
12
it.
wide receiver. Or he
I
was
think
a
he
top
was
12
12
tight end this year.
I think he was 12, wasn't he? I think he was.
I believe
12.
you are correct.
Yeah, I believe he was. Yeah. So
Look at us
but-
agree on the first thing today that
yeah,
we're
right.
agreeing on.
But it didn't feel like it either, did it? A lot of disappointment because
no.
I think his ADP kind of said he should have been more like a top 6 tight end, but whatever. So I think it elevates all of the offensive pieces. Clearly, I think from a real life NFL perspective, it's a ready-made, not quite as much as Tampa, to your point, but a ready-made chance to win. Just like
Aaron
like
Rodgers
we
has
didn't-
dealt with bad offensive lines before, though, and I'm saying that Denver's offensive line is terrible. It's just maybe not
I
Green
also think
Bay
the draft.
level,
I also think the draft can help a lot of folks on the offensive
and free
line.
agent too. So agency,
Sure, of course. So that's how I feel about Rodgers to Denver. Yeah, it's nice.
Okay, so
fantasy
what
fit.
about what? I mean, so what? What do you think the Steelers are going to do then? Let's go through the list. What do you think the Bucks are going to do at quarterback?
I think
they-
because they have Arians, and Arians is an older coach and a proven coach. I
Do
think
you
that window
here's
is gonna be
I
closing.
read about this and it's stupid speculation, but what if he goes with a familiar name? Do you know what I'm getting at here?
Gosh, I mean, Arians has been around a while. A familiar name. What's his
Jameis
face?
Winston, perhaps?
Oh God, no.
Jameis Winston was very efficient with his ball throwing under Sean McVay this year. Showed that he
Sean
could not
Payton.
turn the ball over.
Sean Payton for sure.
But yeah,
Not
whatever I
McVay.
said.
No, I don't think
Sean
Arians
Williams
is ready
under
to
Sean
deploy.
Williams Scott Stifler.
I think Arians wants a different veteran. I think Arians wants a Jimmy Garoppolo, a Aaron Rodgers.
Jimmy Garoppolo, but Arians wants to go
Russell
downfield.
Wilson.
That's why I was like, man, Jimmy Garoppolo is not. It's not exactly his game. I'm not saying he can't.
Yeah.
It's not exactly his game.
Well,
And if you're going to go with someone who's kind of turnover prone, why wouldn't you just go back to the Jameis Winston well?
I
don't
don't
know.
think that's on the same level, but okay. I think it wants a proven veteran.
Another familiar
At the end of the
name,
day.
Ryan Fitzpatrick. Anyone? Hmm?
Yeah, that's where I would throw it there in terms of. I don't think
Probably on the cheaper end of the spectrum
I
as
don't
far
think he
as
coached
quarterbacks.
Fitzpatrick, but I think obviously Fitzpatrick played for Tampa before. I don't know. I'd say Fitzpatrick.
Did
before
they not
Jameis
coexist?
any day. I don't think so.
Okay.
might be
What about the Steelers? What do you think the Steelers do?
I hate to say it, but I think it's more the same. There's only so many veterans to go around. I get it. Garoppolo is the one at the top of the list just in terms of I think San Fran's moving on. If you can get a Rodgers to move, how about this? How about Jameis in Pittsburgh?
I like it.
I think Pittsburgh is again a good defense, great defense, really, and they've got offensive pieces.
Can I interrupt you for a second?
The offensive line needs
Update?
work, but
Update:
Yeah.
Ryan Fitzpatrick was coached by Bruce Arians. Remember that weird
One year in
where he
Tampa?
came out with his bare chest and that kind of tracksuit jacket and the gold chains in that
Tampa?
post game interview. That was in Tampa with Bruce Arians.
who was supposed to be the starter? Jameis was supposed to be.
Yes,
Jameis,
and I
wasn't
believe he got injured
So
or he was
had
just
Jameis. In
bad.
fact, I think that was Arians' first year. He said, "I got Jameis. This is my guy, man," and then it wasn't. I mean, Jameis didn't.
Anyways,
help that.
so what about you think that? Okay, so you think that Jameis
Another
goes to
veteran like
Pittsburgh.
a
I like it. I like
Garoppolo
it.
or
I
yeah.
like Jameis in Pittsburgh.
Oh, okay, okay.
And Denver, you think that Aaron Rodgers is going there? I think it's gonna be. I could honestly see them trying to trade for Deshaun Watson. That's gonna be my answer for that one.
I clearly think it's gonna be one of these big name veterans, biggest name veterans to go to Denver. I think it's a nice situation like a
And
Tampa from a couple years
are you
ago.
on Team Rodgers or are you on Team Watson?
Rogers still Team Rogers, yes
Okay.
sir.
Okay. Washington Commanders. What do you think they do? Do you think they stick with do you think they stick
Punt. I think they punt
with
a
Tyler Hansen?
lot. I mean, yeah, if a veteran can win the job, the incumbent, as
What
it
about
were.
Tyler Hansen and then bring in like a Turd Taylor to kind of back him up to maybe
Oh,
give him a little.
please. I
He's a
mean,
free agent.
yeah, he is a free agent, and if there's a name at the top of,
Here,
he's
I
one of the
didn't
better
get to him on.
backups in the NFL. He's one of the better backups in the NFL. So sure.
Here's an
How
interesting
about Colt
idea.
McCoy?
How about
Colt
Mitch
McCoy?
Trubisky to back him up and maybe give him a run for the starting position? Maybe Mitch Trubisky sat there and learned a thing or two in
I was waiting for
Buffalo.
Trubisky to come up, but I thought there might be a better fit off the top of my head. I don't hate the Commander fit. I like it. I think I
You could
like
see
the
what Mitch
Tyrod
Trubisky
Taylor
does behind a
better.
decent offensive line.
Yeah, I think I like the Tyrod Taylor better, but also like a how about Sam Darnold and Heineke go toe to toe?
I think Darnold's going to stay in Carolina.
Cue the Spider-Man pointing at himself meme.
I'm not familiar with that one, but okay.
What?
No,
Anyway,
sorry.
no, that's fine. Cousins back to the Washington. Back to the
Interesting.
Washington. I like how I said back to the.
I like it.
I
Just
kind of
because
did
it's
too. How you like me now, or whatever he said. How you like me?
You like that?
You like
You
that?
like
Thank
that?
you. My bad. Bad quote. My bad. You got it. You got it. Oh, that's
Anyways,
hilarious.
Carolina Panthers, last team on the list. I think they're going to stick with Sam Darnold, but maybe bring in
Who's
and
the
you
guy
know
that
here
played PJ
you
Walker?
downplayed it. You downplayed it when I was talking about the free agency class, but Trevor Simeon was maybe not fantasy wise, but he was okay for the. And I'm going to really
Where
emphasize
did he end
that.
up in 2021? Not
Okay.
Denver, was
The
it?
Saints. He filled in for
Saints. Thank you. Yeah.
when Taysom Hill and Jameis Winston were both injured. Trevor Simeon was
I think
not
he's
bad.
again
Not great by any
I
means.
think he's
but
like Trevor
bad.
Trevor Heineke, Trevor Simeon and Taylor Heineke. No, Taylor Heineke and Trevor Simeon. Trevor Heineke and Taylor. I said it right the first time because I said it wrong on purpose.
I don't even know who we're talking about anymore.
We're talking about the Spider-Man meme, sir.
So much, I have no idea what his real name is.
We're talking about the Spider-Man meme pointing at each other, and we're talking about wrapping up the show.
I don't know. Let's wrap it up, Chris. I still think that I want to go on record.
I'd love to
think
see
that Sam
Trubisky
Darnold's
get a
there.
shot. I'd love to see Trubisky get a shot somewhere. I do love that take. I just don't know if that was
I like the
it
Washington
for me.
football team for damn it, Commanders for a nice landing spot for him.
Okay. I think maybe if you convince me. I think you've convinced me. Give Trevor Simeon some competition. I mean Taylor Simeon. I mean Heineke. I mean
Whatever his name is. I legit do not know anymore.
I like how you switch every time without a second thought. Like I'm always like trying to. How does he think of another name so quickly?
I don't know. Anyways,
Because you legitimately don't know the man's name.
I literally don't know his name. I guess that is exactly what it is. It starts with a T, and then his last name starts with an H. So
It sounds kind of like a beer.
Is it Travis Heineken?
I'm pretty sure it's Trevor Heineken.
That sounds wrong.
And the other guy is Taylor Simeon for sure. I've nailed it.
Trevor Simeon is for sure that dude's name. The other guy, the Tampa Bay or the Washington, I can't even get the team right anymore.
I'm pretty sure they're twin brothers, Josh.
I've been drinking. Leave me alone.
Pretty sure they play for the same college at the same time and the same game, like platooned in the same number jersey number.
I'm so confused now, Chris. I don't know what's going on.
This is why people listen to the show for confusion.
Yeah. We were okay. To be clear, we were talking about the now Washington Commanders quarterback for this past season, and
Taylor Heineke is his actual name. And Trevor Siemian played for the New Orleans Saints this past season.
Trevor Henderson. Got it. Okay.
See, now you're not playing along, or are you?
I don't know if you said his real name or not.
It is. I'm telling you, it's Taylor Heineken. Heineke.
That
Now, you
doesn't
made me
sound
do
right.
it.
So it's Trevor
Taylor
Heineken.
No, it's not. It's Taylor. Taylor.
Okay, we've been amazing fantasy football. I'm wrapping this show up, man. I don't know it anymore.
We love you, Taylor Heineke.
Is that his name?
Yes.
I don't know. Thanks for tuning in, folks. I'm super confused. I'm
next
Chris. That is
week?
Josh.
Next year?
Y'all have a good night.